how do we work with people to get them comfortable, they should do this, they shouldn't do this, to sort of quantify it for them to say, these are the benefits you're going to receive from this, to the extent you can?
And you can. You know, one of the things that troubles me, and you and I have talked about this many times, is that a lot of people are very simplistic. You read articles in the paper and they're saying this is the best thing in the world, everybody should be converting. You and I have gone over a lot of factors.
It's the famous cocktail party tax advice.
Absolutely. And as accountants and as advisors, you and I know that the only way to really do this and see if it makes sense is to drill down, look at an individual and a family's personal situation, look at the numbers, put everything in place, and just see if it makes sense. And you have to look at that customized on a case-by-case basis, the only way to see if it works. But we have seen that in general, the perfect candidate to do a deferral, to do the Roth conversion, is somebody who is expecting that their income tax rates are going to go up in the future, and that's going to affect a lot of people, obviously, you know, based on the way the world and the economy is. In addition to that, it's somebody who, if they weren't required to take the money out during their lifetimes based on the required minimum distribution rules, wouldn't, unless they, you know, they had to under the law. It's somebody that has
and they wouldn't do that because the advantage of keeping it in and compounding on a deferred basis is too powerful to ignore.
That's correct. So it's somebody really who has plenty of liquidity, both liquidity that they don't need, they wouldn't need the IRA distribution money that comes out to take care of their living expenses in retirement, nor would they need the money or miss the money that they'd have to pay the upfront income taxes with. Also, it's somebody who really likes the idea of leaving an asset that can continue to grow tax-free to his or her children or grandchildren over their lifetimes. Very powerful.
So the idea is to create this deferral mechanism that is never ultimately income taxed over as long a horizon as possible without having to use that sort of principle to pay any of the tax.
Yes, that's correct. If I'm a 65-year-old guy and I do the conversion today and I have, you know, kids that are in their 30s and they're going to inherit this, it's very possible if they don't touch the money, you know, and they let it dribble out over their life expectancies after they inherit it, that we could create an asset that grows tax-free and the distributions come out tax-free for like a 50 or 60-year period. In those models, very compelling. The amount of wealth that you can grow by doing this conversion, at least on paper, is astounding. Can be a tremendous benefit. But the only way to know is by looking at the numbers and seeing if the situation makes sense.
And for a lot of people, when you run the numbers, what you will find is that in some cases it just won't be that compelling, based on where people are in their lives, based on what their kids are doing, based on money needs. Sometimes it looks great, sometimes it doesn't look so great.
Yeah, it really depends, and there's no way to cookie cutter this thing. If I have a situation where, you know, maybe I know my children are going to need the money after I'm gone for whatever, then maybe it'll make less sense. But at least what we can do is we can put the numbers on paper, we can sit down with people and we can discuss it, and then we can help the clients determine if it makes sense to them in their situation.
So again, a potentially very powerful planning opportunity for some people. Not a one-size-fits-all solution. I know there's a lot of people out there advocating, saying this is great, everybody should do it, but as I think we've discussed and as we can show you with numbers, it really depends on your individual situation, and I would encourage any of you that have questions about this to get in touch with Scott and sit with him and actually go through it and see what the power of this potential tool really could benefit you.
Absolutely correct.
Scott, thanks for coming on today.
You're very welcome.